Hey, what's up, YouTube? Enforcer5150 here, and what we're going to do is play the Division 2 once again, but we're going to play it on the HP Omen 15, which is i7 8750H CPU. It's 2.2 gigahertz, which is boostable to about 4 gigahertz, and it has a GTX 1060 in it at 6 gigabytes. 16 gigs of RAM and 256 gigabyte SSD. Basically, we're just going to kind of do a little bit of gameplay through here. I'm just kind of looking through a few things real quick. And yeah, some of these guns are just amazing. But anyway, as you see that the CPU actually jumps up quite a bit. I have it on performance mode right now, which gives you more heat, and it also increase, it basically gives you more heat, and the fans blow hot, faster and stuff like that. But we're just kind of, just taking a look. We're on ultra right now at 1080p. I'm actually running through the AverMedia Live Gamer 4K on my main computer, so nothing's actually being rendered on the laptop right now. It's just going out of there and then onto the TV screen or TV monitor, whatever. It's actually a 4K monitor, but I'm only going to run it at 1080p because this really can't really do 1440p or 10K. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and switch this down because the frames are just a little bit too much. We're going to go to high settings on default, and then we need to take off VSync as well. So actually, let me go ahead and put that up again. Alright, so I had to do a full restart. I completely forgot about that. But now we have VSync off. We're at the high settings instead of ultra. I think this is kind of the best spot that we can be to get around, 60 frames per second. Stay over that, that minimum that we want to see in most games. As you can see, right now we're getting 66. Looks like we're dropping down a little bit. But you can also see a lot of it has to do with the heat. Right now I'm on performance, so there is a little bit more heat to it. But if you put it down to, say, the silent mode and stuff like that, then it really starts getting hot when you're gaming because it's not really meant for gaming. And the normal kind of does the same, where it starts getting hotter. It still gets that hot, but you're not getting the performance out of it. So I think that, the only way that you can really bring down the heat is by putting new thermal on there or undervolting the CPU, which I really just I don't like doing that especially with new hardware when it's a brand new system and stuff like that. New thermal probably is what my next best bet is going to be. But yeah, this seems like it's running pretty good. We're just gonna kind of do some gaming here and see how this all works out. But this game is just, beautiful as is. And I really did find that, bringing down the graphics a little bit does help out a little bit on the, heat side. But I really don't want to play it at lower, frame. I don't want to play it at a lower resolution or anything like that. I kind of want to max it out as much as I can. As you can see, my GPU is, 90, pretty much maxed out almost the whole time. But either way, this game's doing pretty well. We do have another gameplay video that the wife and I did, doing some of the end game stuff like that I've been trying to upload or actually export from a Premiere. And we will have that one up pretty soon with the i9 9900K and the AMD 2700X systems. But yeah, we're actually doing pretty well. Looks like, about 49 frames per second is our main low. Let's grab these guys all at once. Bam! Yeah, one guy remained. Yeah, I'm not going to do too long on this video. Like I said, I just kind of want to do a quick performance review, kind of run around, just play it and see how things are, starting to, hit the performance of this system. And like I said, the main concern is really the heat. But on my end, I really don't worry about that too much. It does bring down the frames per second, which I don't like. I could put this thing in the freezer and it'd still be a little bit hot. It's just they're 6-core CPUs, man. They're not ready. They've never been ready. They haven't been ready yet. Mainly because, hold on. Mainly because, you know, you don't have the same, you know, gigantic, you know, heat sinks that you can put on to, say, you know, an i7 8700K or something like that. You know, you don't have that large heat sink and huge fan that you can put on there. You just have, you know, this little fan that goes on it. So it's going to be hotter, and that's why, you know, like the max threshold is usually higher, and the auto throttle works a little bit differently than, say, a desktop CPU. All right, so I switched it down to comfort mode in the, you know, HP Omen Center or whatever it's called. I can't remember what it's actually called. Maybe Command Center. Yeah, Command Center, something like that. But I switched it down to comfort mode, and just so you can kind of see that it doesn't really change the heat, because right now the CPU is still doing, you know, all the work, and the fans are blowing less. So as the fans blow less, as you can see, the megahertz are just, you know, dropping down, you know, just as much as they were before. You're still going to have that same amount of heat, so it doesn't really matter which one you put it on. You know, undervolting, if you do that, if you don't know what you're doing, you run the risk of, you know, damaging your CPU and stuff like that. Even though that there are safeguards in your laptop that won't allow you to actually break your CPU. I mean, you can sit there and run this thing, even if you took off like the thermal protection, it could probably run at, you know, 110 Celsius without actually, you know, still breaking. They do leave a good margin in there so that it's not going to actually break the CPU. I mean, if you know a CPU that's actually, you know, died out, that was just already a bad CPU to begin with. Especially with Intel. I mean, since I think it was 2001 or 2002, they really mastered, you know, making sure you don't damage your CPU, and those things they'll last forever. Basically, they'll last for a long time. The CPU is pretty much the last thing that's gonna die out on you. So, like, the one thing you need to remember is that with a gaming laptop, even though it's a gaming laptop, it's still not meant for long-term use of, you know, gaming. It's just not. It's not really possible to do under just, you know, manufacturer settings. I mean, that's why a lot of people undervolt their CPU, add new thermal paste and stuff like that. Which I plan on doing a video of adding the thermal paste to this laptop. Because, you know, I probably should, see, I do a lot of gaming on here, but it really is not made for that long-term use of gaming. You know, maybe a few hours here and there, and then, you know, take a break. Even in the, you know, because 85 to 90 Celsius, that's pretty much what you should expect on, you know, a factory. Damn it, they're all over the dang place. That's kind of where you expect on, you know, a factory gaming laptop is, you know, 85 to 90. This one runs a little bit hotter, where it starts going up like 100, you know, Celsius there, and that's, you know, it's hot, but you'll see that it underclocks itself. It brings itself down so that it doesn't damage the CPU and stuff like that. But it does affect your frames per second, because this laptop is not a desktop replacement. That's where I know a lot of people, you know, kind of think of when they got a gaming laptop, is they're replacing their desktop, but you really can't do that with, you know, some of these, you know, in the $1,000 range. I mean, if you want that, you're gonna have to start spending a lot more than $1,000. And I can't remember how much that other one is. I think it's like 10 grand or something like that. That big old Acer that's, you know, it has all the fans in it, and it's just a monster. Now, something like that, that's made for that long-term use. You know, this is kind of more meant for, you know, say the traveling, you know, esports person, something like that needs something to game on while they're in a hotel and stuff like that. Damn it. Yeah. Oh, I love this shotgun, guys. Really love this shotgun. Damn it. Anyway, like I was saying, I'm probably going to do a video on cooling down this CPU by putting on, you know, some new thermal on it and stuff like that. Do a video on actually, you know, how to put the thermal on, and, you know, kind of safely doing that. Possibly an undervolt video. I don't know if I'm going to undervolt this yet, but really, if you take anything from this video, the hot CPU temps will regulate itself. If you've ever been in a
tech company or something like that, there's a lot of people that are involved in just how much heat that it's producing and what measures to take to make sure that it doesn't actually damage the laptop. Because if it damages itself within the first 5 years, 10 years, depending on the warranty that somebody gets, if they get an extended warranty, the company has to pay that back. So they are definitely watching how much heat is going into the CPU and how much is actually being done under regular usage, like gaming, because it is a gaming laptop. But if you're, playing, 10 hours straight or something like that on this laptop, that under a manufacturer that, manufacturer defaults, that's just not practical, not normal use as they would probably put it. But either way, I'm not going to really go too much into this here anymore, into the dark zone here that I've already done. So with that said, I just want to thank everybody for their comments and questions, concerns that you put in the last videos. I really appreciate it and enjoy reading them and responding. So that's going to be it for this video. Anyway, I want to thank you all for watching this video. Make sure you hit that like button and definitely subscribe if you're new to the channel. Y'all take care and happy gaming.